Oh, we're gonna open your eyes so you can see who you're gonna call if you wanna be free. Globebusters! 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 Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Yeah! Globebusters! Globebusters! Globebusters!
And welcome everybody to GLOBEBUSTERS. We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the GLOBEBUSTERS Weekend Update, where we highlight new people coming out and talking about flat Earth. It's still exploding. It's just crazy, and as many pro-flat Earthers as you have out there, you have their friends or their relatives, family, whatnot, who are making videos anti-flat Earth. So it's just really exploding again. The whole flat Earth conversation in all circles is being had openly now, which was kind of taboo even in 2017. There were still a lot of people that were hesitant even to talk about it. So it's just really cool seeing this wave still rolling, more like a tsunami, I would say. The amount of flat Earth content being put out now, I've never seen anything like it. So that's what we mostly show here on the GLOBEBUSTERS Weekend Update. We'll also be highlighting some things that GLOBEBUSTERS panel members have put out this week on their own channels and stuff like that. Of course, you can always go down to, let's see, we're just gonna click on GLOBEBUSTERS. We'll click on the Weekend Update, and we will look down here. You can see a bunch of different flat Earth channels that do a show every week, if not every day. They're putting stuff out on the regular, always, constantly. Go check them out. I made it pretty easy to get into them. All right. Starting off with a Martk Sargent Flat Earth meetup. It will be in Reno, Tahoe today, June 7th, with Nathan Thompson. Let's see. So you can RSVP Nathan for a time and location at flatearthflyers@gmail.com. So if you're in the Tahoe area and you would like to go to, you're going to have to get a hold of Nathan today. Now it's still pretty early out there. I think it's 6:30, something like that in the morning. But yeah, I'm sure he's going to be checking his email as soon as he gets up. So if you're in the area and you'd like to go hang out at a Flat Earth meetup with Nathan, get a hold of him. And as always, thank you, Mark, for doing this. If you don't know, Martk Sargent is one of the easiest flat earthers to get a hold of. He's got his contact information right down here. You can call him, you can send snail mail, or you could reach out at his email and he will get back to you. Yeah. So there you go. Meet up in Reno, the Tahoe area today. This one is from Chuck Diesel, TLW. Let's see if Chuck has made any other flat Earth videos. Dating advice. Hasn't made a flat Earth video since. Honest feedback matters. A lot of it's dating in my 3D stakes. So it looks like he covers all kinds of stuff. I see a lot of dating stuff though. A lot of which, yeah, it's always good to have those channels out there, really. Just a different perspective, and maybe some of the things you might be doing that you could change yourself. I haven't checked out any of these videos. 1.13 subscribers, 1.2K videos. Seems pretty active. But he shared this, his first flat Earth map revealed. Library of Congress shock. Here you go.
This on the Library of Congress's website.
Library of Congress, you heard her.
And this makes so much sense to me. I've never seen this. You guys might have already seen this, but this is a square and stationary Earth map done by a professor in the 1800s. It makes total sense of the four angels at the four corners of the Earth. It has our circular, flat, stationary Earth. It has the Polaris, North Pole, and then the projections of the sun and moon. And this can be interpreted as the donut Earth or the torus field. And this would make sense of Drake's bowl. And this would tie into the Bible verses
Really
about the
like
potter and the potter's wheel. And this would tie into the signet rings, which if you don't know, they're rings that stamp patterns into clay or wax. And this makes sense of the ice wall. And this makes sense of the pouring out of the bowls at the end. They're probably pouring out giant bowls into our giant bowl. Scientists attribute the equatorial bulge to the rotation of the Earth, but the simple answer for this would just be that the sun is directly over those parts, so it's warmer and it expands, making the sea levels slightly higher.
I've never heard that one before. Warmer, so it expands, making the sea level higher there. Interesting thought. But yeah, first flat Earth video. Chuck Diesel, TLW. I will drop the link to this video in the chat. And what I'm seeing a lot of old stuff too. A lot of old stuff being reshown again by new channels, which is awesome. There has been so much work put into, doing tests and observations and all this kind of stuff that it's silly not to go back and reshow this stuff over again. People are waking up every day to this. It's so new for some people. You have to remember they haven't seen the hundreds or thousands of hours that some of us have. So they've never seen any of the stuff that we pass off as just, oh yeah, common knowledge, but it's not common knowledge yet. So yeah, I love all the old videos being reshared again. Flat Earther approves no curvature, 414 keeper. Looks like they've made quite a few all within the last week. Let's see what their videos are looking like. Flat Earther explains Genesis. Flat Earther proves no curvature. Flat Earth, 7 days ago. Has some videos from 7 years ago, 2 of them, and then started up 2 weeks ago. Compass Flat Earth. So this is a pretty fresh Flat Earth channel. And if you've been watching the show, I should have found this, right? I should have seen this video. Any of the videos that this person has made. I search daily, a couple times a day. They're putting Flat Earth in the title, but yet I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're seeing a 414 keeper. So even the new channels, with 3 subscribers are being shadow banned. It's insane. So this is the 414 keeper.
Okay, let's take a look.
And I will drop the link. Look at me go, guys. I am on point this morning. I don't know what's going on. And we're going to let a couple minutes of this play. Goes into the Earth curve calculator, goes a little bit into perspective. So we're going to play a couple minutes of this. Yeah, check it out.
Look out the window. What do you notice? Uh-oh, wait a minute. You see that crossbar? Oh, we're in an elevator. We're going down, but you can't even tell.
Horizon stays the same spot.
You know why?
It's not rising up.
I know why. Let me show you. So let's set up a level in the elevator. And I'm going to put the camera behind it on a tripod, looking right across the top of the level. Okay, now let's go back to here. Okay, when you look across the top of the level, that's where the horizon is, all the time. It doesn't matter how high you go. I also want you to notice, see how I have it on 1x zoom? So that's the same as what your eyes see. Now here's the reason why that you can't tell that we're moving. Because
Thank you
the
for
horizon
it. That's what we got to
always
do.
stays at eye level.
We have to support these new
I guess that's why
channels.
they call it eye level. Now
Awesome.
we're going up here about 35 feet, and the horizon just stays right there the whole way. Now this is impossible on a globe. And in a minute here, I'm going to explain to you why. Check it out, it doesn't move. And we're going up 35, 40 feet. Still going up. You can't even tell we're going up. Still going up. Okay, so if you lived on a ball, let's say you came off the ground 2 feet. Well, if you come off the ground 2 feet, the Earth curves 2 feet, so you're 4 feet off the horizon. Now, if you come up 50 feet, the ground curves 50 feet because it's squared. That's how a ball works. So you're 100 feet off the horizon.
What?
So let's go back to the elevator over here. All right, so let's say you're 6 feet off the ground. If you go up 6 feet, the Earth curves 6 feet. That means you're 12 feet off the horizon.
I'm not sure
If you're
where
30
he's.
feet off the ground.
I'm not sure where he's getting that. If you go up 6 feet, the Earth curves 6 feet. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, that just maybe I'm not getting what he's saying. I mean, I understand you can see further as you go up because the angle is now getting larger, so you can resolve some more of these angles right here, this angle right here. Once it hits a certain point, you get so far away, it's not like, you know, maybe he's saying because of the curve. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's saying here.
So let's say we're up 30 feet, right? And at 30 feet, you can see 6.7 miles. So let's hit calculate. See how the hidden height is 0? So that's correct, 6.7 miles. Now we're going to come back up here, and we're just going to put 0. Hit calculate. Okay, so the target distance to the horizon is 0 because we're at 6.7 miles. And look, the hidden height is 29.9 feet. So if we're up 30 feet, there's 29.9 feet of curvature. So that means.
Very interesting. I've never seen anybody calculate it that way. Yeah, interesting.
You're up 60 feet. So I didn't make this calculator up. That's just what it is. Back in the elevator. Now let's speed it up. Okay, so as we're going up, the horizon follows the level. But if we lived on a ball.
Okay. If you guys want to check that out, I dropped the link in chat. Yeah, he's got me thinking about some different things. I've never seen the math done like that. So that's 414 Keeper, all one word, capital K. I'm going to go ahead and subscribe. I like that one. And we're going to drop in a comment. Much appreciated. All right. So thank you, 414 Keeper, a new Flat Earth channel. Here is Strong Lion of Jesus, all one word. Let's see. Earth is flat. Doesn't say how old that was. Looks like fake space, 11 months ago. So this seems like an older channel. 1 year ago, 11 months ago. 11 months ago, and then 2 months ago. I think they've been mostly doing shorts lately, maybe. I don't know how I found this. So yeah, it is a short. No, it's longer than a short. Hmm. When was this? 6 days ago. Hmm. So a new channel. It sounds like a song, possibly. Let's see what we got.
Why do you think the earth is a sphere? They convince you at school that it stands on elephants. Everyone laughed, claiming the madness of this idea. They showed only one version, it's a sphere. But it's not true, it's all a lie. After all, you took it all on faith. I didn't even check, I didn't check, I didn't check, I didn't check. In fact, everything is like this. The earth is flat, the earth is flat. The earth is flat, the earth is flat, and it's under a dome. No, this lie was imposed on us, imposed on us. There is no space, the earth doesn't spin, and it stands, and it stands, and it stands, and it stands. In fact, everything is like this. The earth is flat, the earth is flat. It is flat, the earth is flat, the earth is flat, and it's under a dome. And that's biblical truth. Study the scriptures.
Would this be considered dubstep? I don't know all the genres of music like that anymore, but I bet that would look great in the Rubens tube. So that was Strong Lion of Jesus. Let me drop that in the chat for you. So do they allow shorts to be longer than a minute now? Because I didn't see that. 138 in there. Oh, no, there it is. 2 months ago, though, it says. No, that's 337. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Shorts can be longer than a minute. I did not know that. I like that beat, though. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of music, I know a lot of it's probably AI music, but I mean, I get it. As a musician, I know that makes people cringe from the musician standpoint. But for people who are just trying to get an idea out there, it's really helpful. It really is. It makes it a lot more affordable to put stuff together like this to share. So there you go. Strong Lion of Jesus. New, seems like a Flat Earth channel, a lot of Flat Earth stuff. Here is Earth Really Flat? 2016 Flat Earth. I'm assuming it's pretty much mostly a Flat Earth channel. Yeah. A lot of Flat Earth stuff. FlatEarth101.com.
Hi, Steve here. There was a time when there was no debate.
Now, I don't know if I've covered this channel or not. 2016 Flat Earth. We've all seen this gentleman. I don't know if this is his channel. No, 203 subscribers. I remember this gentleman is having a pretty big channel right here. Okay. So yeah, just sharing other Flat Earth content. We're seeing a lot of that. So that's awesome. Primal Dad Truther. I have way more than this. Let me know if you want more. Let's see. What kind of videos? The sun is a light. Two suns. I've been seeing a lot of those videos about two suns in the sky. A lot. Now with AI, I mean, it could be so easy to make these videos now, right? But why fly so high? Freemasons draw flat hollow earth 1 month ago, 2 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago. I'm not seeing anything from 6 months ago about flat earth. Primal data on cannabis in the books, covering many topics. So it's been at it for a while, over 2 years. Looks like about 2 months ago, at least, I see the first. And then we got Book of Enoch, Agartha, Eddie Griffin, The Earth is Flat. So about 2 months ago, it looks like. He at least started making videos about flat Earth. Primal Dad Truther, like the name of the channel.
Let's go down
Here you
a
go. We're
little
gonna
flat
check
earth
this
rabbit
out.
hole and let's talk about a few key points that may just make you question what you've been taught. And we'll find out if it's all pure coincidence or not. First, let's start with NASA, outer space, and the moon landing. Because I'm here to tell you that NASA's actually telling human beings that they landed on this thing, and they're telling you this is a real picture of outer space. So again, we can go down these rabbit holes, but let's continue on with a few more points. What about if the Earth was actually spinning this fast and people were actually flying against the spin of the Earth? Why wouldn't they be getting there faster? Think about these things and don't get angry. You ever think about why the sun and the moon really are the same size? And do you really believe that they just happen to be the perfect distance away from each other in outer space to look like they're the exact same size in the sky? Or are these things actually the same size? Just ask yourself without getting triggered.
Definitely a
These
fisherman.
discs might just actually be
I used to have those
local,
hooks on all
and
my hats.
they may be the same size because they represent the yin and the yang of our world. Now, why would they want to keep us away from whatever else there could be in this earth? Now, again, these elites are obviously hiding something from us, you guys. If they're doing all these things, we're not going to get into that too much, but just think about it. Just think about it. Think about what this world is and think about who runs this world, you guys. And are they good or evil? Just ask yourself these questions and don't get angry. I mean, honestly, you guys, if we can't figure out at least by the water that this is flat, then hope is very slim, you guys, because this should be curving. This is 22 miles, okay? There's no...
Yeah, no way. Look at this, is all Nevada or whatever you want to call it, the southwest of the United States, all this land right here. If that's Lake Tahoe that big and you're seeing this curve, nonsense. Yeah, that's what 22 miles of Lake Tahoe looks like from down here. And then you go up and yeah.
no curvature.
Haven't seen that
They
big.
measure it straight across. So that knocks it out right there. And if you want to keep going, keep going. But I'm here to tell you that this is undeniable. And again, the truth's coming out, man. And people are seeing it. It's just slow because a lot of people are still bots. So when everybody wakes up, they're going to learn and see these things. And the world is going to change, I promise you. And I'm here to tell you, if you're angry and you're sad and you're going to message me, go for it, bro, because I ain't going to stop. And the truth's coming out. And I'm here to tell you, you're all going to learn real soon what the real truth is about our world and what you've been told.
I like that. The globe pacifier, that's funny. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I dropped that link in chat. Yeah. That again was the Primal Dad Truther. Nice. We're gonna drop thanks for sharing. Much appreciated. I mean, I understand, you only want to subscribe to so many channels because you already have so many. So you don't have to subscribe, but go in and give them a thumbs, maybe a comment. It just helps these people know that they're being heard a little bit, for real. It makes them want to make more. And yeah, I mean, not that they could put it back in the box now anyway, but that little bit of support, it's not that hard to do, to go over to the channel and hit a thumbs up. It's pretty easy. So let's show some love to these people. Again, that was Primal Dad Truther. All right, and here is one by one of our GLOBEBUSTER panel members, Shane St. Pierre. How do flat earthers explain this shadow? Got space audits down here. And I love seeing this. Not so much reposting old videos of how things work, but making brand new videos, with even more knowledge. I mean, Shane's been at this for a little while. We had the question answer to this quite a few years ago. It's going to be the shadow from the mountain on the clouds. But yeah, like I said, there's so many people. And this stuff needs to be gone over again and again and again. One of the reasons it needs to be gone over again and again and again, because you will see that the trolls, right, the people who have been doing this for 8, 9 years, whatever, and they will still throw this up there, even though it's been answered and debunked completely. It very well does happen on a flat Earth. And if the Earth were a globe, it should be happening in a lot more places, right? If it is actually the shadow or the light ray coming up like this and casting a shadow onto the clouds up over here, there's a lot of mountain ranges, a lot of really tall mountain ranges where this should take into account sometimes. But it usually only happens in the mountain peaks that actually go above the clouds that form in that local area. And he's going to explain it to you right here. This is, like I said, these are the things that the globe trolls, yes, and A-literalists, Red's Flat Army, they will throw this at new flat earthers who haven't seen stuff like this yet, right? And the point of it is because they know that it's not something easily figured out. I didn't figure it out. I had to be shown it. I thought about it. I did a video on it, thinking it might have been the light coming down and bouncing off water and then going back up. But yeah, no, I was wrong. I was very wrong. And then someone came out, I forget who figured this out. I know Taboo Conspiracy covered it quite a few times. So here we go. Anyway, we're going to let Shane just roll with this whole video. A GLOBEBUSTER panel member. This is one of the videos he put out this week. Go show Shane some love. He needs some more views, and he definitely needs some more subscribers. The guy is a genius. I'll just say it. He's a genius. Here we go.
So how does a flat earth believer explain how the sun manages to light up the bottom of clouds and cast a shadow of the horizon on mountains as it sets, if the earth is flat and the sun rotates above the clouds? So some ironically refer to the globe model as an example of coherence, when in fact the globe is the most incoherent theory ever devised by man. It can only be maintained by minds which are on purpose kept incoherent through 15 years of, quote, schooling, and minds deprived of the classic faculty of reasoning. Let's do some reasoning here on the example of shadows and mountains and clouds and light. In this famous picture of Mount Rainier, a staple of the globe rotating in front of a stationary sun defender, we have it all in one wonderful demonstration. So in our fast-paced world of first glance plausibility, that looks like, well, of course that's it. Done, let's move on. Well, no, it's not. Let's not move on. Let's stay and think for a while. First of all, we have to seriously ask ourselves, what is a shadow? And is it really cast onto something? Shadows are not cast. A shadow is a volume of space that is not illuminated, and any object that enters this volume of space will look like being, quote, in the shadow. So here in this image, the mountain blocks light from entering a certain volume of space, and everything in it will look like having a shadow cast upon it. That this shadow resides in the volume on the lee side of the mountain and not on the surface of clouds can be seen here, where the low sun effect is photographed from the top of the mountain. It's the same shadow, but it's not, quote, cast onto the ground. It's everywhere within the volume blocked by the mountain. And against first glance plausibility, it is not reflecting the shape of the mountain, which just also happens to be cone-shaped. A cylindrical mountain would present the same picture, parallel lines converging at the level of focus, i.e. eyes or camera, and what is called the vanishing point. When you compare the two images above, you will notice that the shadow is always wide near the observer, which means the shape is an observer artifact, not the shape of the shadow. Weirdly shaped clouds do pretty much the same as the cone-shaped mountains. Here, below the sun is clearly still above the clouds, although ready to set. That is, disappear into the distance, where we can no longer see her, and she can no longer illuminate our area. That this is in fact the case can be seen in an image taken from above at an almost orthogonal angle, which eliminates the effect of perspective. Right here, the shadows are clearly as parallel as the vertical house sides are parallel, looking orthogonally at them, whereas horizontal top and ground converge in the same vanishing point. Now, the fact that the clouds are visibly in the shadow, that is, looking like being in the volume of space blocked by the mountain, tells us that the clouds, which are obviously not in this volume but way above the mountain, cannot be lit up from below, because they would just reflect the light cast upon them and send it through that volume like any light source would. And we would see no shadow. That means that the light must come from above it, and it is us who are in the shadow, in the volume of space that is not illuminated. A plane flying just under that cloud layer would not experience itself as being in a shadow, but would see the shadow in the lee side of the mountain from above. That means the shadow is not cast upon the clouds. The next aspect to consider is why clouds are either white or a shade of gray all the way to black. That's not the color the clouds have, it's a matter of density and size of what is called in jargon hydrometeors, particles of water in solids. Important to notice is the fact that the appearance of clouds as either white or gray is a result of penetration of light, not reflection of light. So when a cloud appears gray in a sunset, it is so because the light from above does not penetrate it. It is scattered along the way through the cloud. If the light would come from below and hit the cloud surface, all clouds would be the same shade of red at sunset, which is clearly not the case, as we all well know. This effect is observed all the way to the point where the sun disappears in the distance, and not below the clouds, as is falsely claimed by globe believers. Here, below, we see the clouds not lit up from below, but penetrated to various degrees by the light of the sun that is still above the clouds. Now while we're at it, talking clouds, let's also answer one of my favorite questions on Gora. Why do clouds weighing millions of tons float in the sky? The answer is, they don't. What we call clouds is just the visible part of a pillar that actually rests on the ground, a pillar of rising warm air. Or better, clouds are the visible part of a dynamic process that starts on the ground. Glider pilots use this visible part to take advantage of this pillar of ground, using it as a staircase to climb, called a thermal. In the case there is no visible part, that is, no condensation, glider pilots orient themselves by the topography of the ground because they know where these staircases are preferably built. Another type of clouds are layered clouds like cirrus, which is a deposition of water vapor above 5 to 6 kilometers, and that again means they don't float. They rest on a denser layer below, much the same as fresh and salt water layering themselves in strata. So clouds do never float, just so they are always connected to the ground, but we usually don't see that connection. And most importantly, clouds do not have weight, as a dynamic process cannot have weight, only things have weight, and a cloud is not a thing. Because of the astounding resistance to observation and reason, here are some additional images which should make it unmistakably clear. Till she disappears in the distance, the sun remains above the clouds. Here, similar to Mount Rainier, the sun above the clouds casting a shadow not onto something, but into the lee side of the cloud. And the sun about to set, yet still illuminating this cloud from above. Look at the front edge. And then there's a late sunset with clouds illuminated by a light source above and far away at a low angle. And look at the rear edge of the clouds. And a contrail from a plane flying roughly 4 kilometers above the clouds, casting a shadow onto the cloud deck. Because the sun is where? Below cloud level? Nope, it's above the plane.
Ether Cosmology, they have a Discord. You can find it in Shane's, I'm sure. Maybe not. I know you can find it over at Alan's channel, Space Audits. But yeah, that was a banger, Shane. Another one of those things that, a lot of us have seen, but again, there's a lot of new people coming into this. So we need to keep re-showing and re-going over a lot of this stuff. It needs to happen. And it's great to have intelligent teachers like Shane and Alan and, all these guys that are really putting in a lot of work. Not just making contents, but putting together, really well thought out and well written, scientifically written papers on this stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome having these guys. So here we go. This is the Simple Man podcast. Somebody interviewing Bryce Mitchell. If you guys don't know who Bryce Mitchell is, he is a UFC fighter who openly talks about the flat earth.
What is the Simple Man podcast?
So let's see. Yep, I'm doubt we're going to see any other flat earth anything. At all. I'm not seeing anything. Just talks to a lot of fighters and stuff. And has some, looks like really big fighters on. So that's awesome. Probably a former fighter or a fighter, live fighter doing it right now. So I've been covering this stuff for about 2 years. But had Bryce Mitchell on.
What is
the female cats that
I don't know if he brought it up or Bryce brought it up, but he put flat earth in the title. Flat Earth, NASA, and the Firmament. So we are going to check out some of this conversation that they had. Let me drop this in the chat for y'all. Again, that's the Simple Man podcast. We'll give it a thumbs up.
I got, so there's a bunch of cats in at least 8 in my yard.
Are they spayed or no?
Flat earther, or that you believe
accepting other lies? Like, it really strips you of your ego. My females are, but they've also all produced a litter before. And then I go to Walmart and I say free kitten sign, and then I give them away. But I didn't let them have 2 batches of kittens.
So one batch, then cut them up
and then spade them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's seems pretty doable. Are you still a flat earther?
Once you go flat, you don't go back.
Yeah, really?
Generally. I mean, it's that important of a concept, and it can change your life, once you realize that the earth is flat, because then you don't have a problem accepting other lies. Like, it really strips you of your ego. And I'm just telling you, the earth is flat. There is not a 0.1% chance it's not.
Strips you
and you
of
don't
your
have
ego.
to believe it. And I'm not offended if nobody believes it.
That is so well said. Strips you of your ego. And it does. It's a slap in the face. Like, how could I be that, oblivious to the world around me? Man, I loved that. Well said, Bryce.
But I'm here to tell you, it is a fact. It is flat. It's actually in the scripture, in the Bible. That's what I'm really focused on right now. I've been doing a lot of study of the scripture, talking about, or reading where the Bible talks about the earth being still, not stationary. I'm sorry, stationary.
Yeah.
Flat, the heavenly bodies, the firmament. I've been looking in the Bible for things to confirm the flat earth truth, and it's all over. I mean, it is actual. It's
Were
very
you
important.
always a flat earther, or did you believe Earth was round, like growing up in school, and then you kind of did your own research, and then you're like, oh, this is incorrect?
That's exactly what happened. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was. In fact, bro, I'm ashamed to talk about my past, but this is.
Thank you, Brian. Jeez, oh Pete. Sorry, everybody. I was just saying how this is a lot like my story right here. This was a whole lot like my story. I won't say that I didn't believe in God. I very much questioned if there was a God, but I always had that little inkling in me thinking that there was something watching over me, right? But I would tell people that I was an atheist, evolution and this and that and the Big Bang and yada, 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 and billions and trillions of other galaxies and universes. If there is a God, he's not here watching over us now. He's out there doing something, and just letting this all go. That was the kind of mentality I had. And it wasn't flat Earth that brought me to a creator. But it was like the idea of there being a creator that allowed flat Earth for me to even look at flat Earth. So it was, here, listen to what he has to say about this. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Is what it was. I believe that globe Earth is part of what made me an atheist. I was a huge atheist. I was a stone cold atheist. You couldn't tell me there was a God, and that's because I loved living in sin. And so I love to justify my sin. You know what I mean? I can do whatever I want with any woman that I want. I can get away with things because there's no watcher. Then I became a flat earther before I believed in God.
Yeah.
And then I had a demonic experience, and then I believed in God. And so then, once I believed in God, I started realizing, once I was reading the Bible, that the Bible talks about the earth being flat. But I was a flat earther first, then became a Christian, and then started reading into the Bible and finding out, wait a second, this 2,000-year-old book talks about the earth being still.
Okay, so I was wrong there. He became a flat earther first, and then that brought him to the creator. So a little bit different than mine. But yeah, just from the idea that, what we were taught in school, all the crazy nonsense that we're taught in school about the Big Bang and this and that and evolution and, as a matter of fact, like, it really put the whole Bible like on a back burner and what it said about the shape of the earth and there being a firmament and all this stuff. It was like, who am I going to believe? All these scientists or this old book, right? That was my mindset at the time. But yeah, ego crusher for sure.
Having a firmament, all these things that can only exist on a flat plane.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like heaven up, hell down. That can't happen on a globe. You can't have up and down on a globe. Only on a flat plane. So, I mean, I could really just talk forever about this. But yeah, I'm 100% flat earther. And I believe it's important because the Bible talks about the earth being stationary. The Bible talks about the firmament and the heavenly bodies. And you can't get a good picture of God's creation without understanding that the earth is flat. And then you have to understand why that they're lying. They are lying about globe earth because if they can push globe earth, they can push Big Bang. If they can push Big Bang, they can tell you come from monkeys and don't have a soul. And that is a lie from hell, from Satan. It's a lie from hell. It really is. And people think I'm CTE or whatever when I say that. They push globe earth so that they can push Big Bang. They push all of that bullshit so that they can push you that we came from monkeys. So it's all a bunch of lies that work together that paint a false narrative.
Do you not believe in any evolution at all, or do you believe there was some?
I believe there's definitely some. I mean, it's factual. But what I do not believe, what I know is true, Nikki.
All right, so it goes on and on and on for an hour and 40 minutes. I don't know if I doubt they talk flat earth the whole time. But I just thought that was really, let's see what they're talking about.
I'm pissed I'm not there, man. It would have been sick to train and to be on the pod for this one.
Well, we Jews or his head in everybody's hand. It's kind of strange. The Bible talked about that 2,000 years ago. So anyways, what I'm saying is I think that in our lifetime, we're going to continue to see these people get more and more power. The small guys, like
They're longer than the United States. There's
so it seems like they're talking about all kinds of stuff. But the flat earth part is definitely right near the beginning. They get right into it right off the get. So thank you. Simple Man Podcast. Getting the word out there, letting Bryce, speak his mind. This is Nick Bellamy. Is the earth flat? Just 4 videos interviewing fellow high school seniors. So it might be a young man here. And this looks like his last one. Going around asking high school seniors what shape they think the earth is.
What. Let me ask y'all a question. Is the earth round?
Like on some real shit though, like I've been meaning to tell niggas this. We really live in a firmament. So like it's a flat circle and then it's a like sphere around it. So we really don't even live on a globe, but it's really the CIA and the government.
Do you guys think the earth is flat?
No.
Okay, so they're at least kind of smart. First of all, I know you're a very intellectually challenged person. Is the earth flat?
Kyrie once said that the earth is flat, but I believe it's not flat.
Is the earth flat? Is the earth flat?
Hell yeah. Of course it is.
Is the earth flat?
No, the earth is not flat. But ask me some dumb questions like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I hate to break it to y'all, bro. The earth is flat. Think about it, bro.
So the conversations are being had everywhere, folks. These are, the high school seniors. So yeah, I mean, I never heard about anything like this. By that time, I was much older. So just imagine all the people that are going to be flat by the time they get, 25 years into the future. It's going to be wild. All right. So again, that was Nick Bellamy. Not a flat earther, didn't look like it, just started the channel and all that kind of stuff. But asking the question and sharing some answers, from the flat earth side. Like I said, the conversation's just being had everywhere now. And that's what we want. The truth doesn't need us to defend it so much, right? Yeah, we have to go and explain some things, the questions that we can answer. But for the most part, if people go out seeking the truth, a real truth seeker, ready to go out there and look, not so much on a screen, but try to measure the world around them, they're going to come to the conclusion that this place is flat and not moving. It's just, all the different manuals for just about everything tell you to treat it as a flat, motionless plane for a reason. So, yeah, thank you for having the conversation. This is tip of the day. Let's see. 313 videos, plane trip, road trip, Orwellian days, presidential election, Don't see, okay, Flat Earth 2 years ago had a video out. Means to measure the Earth. What is gravity? So definitely went through her Flat Earth awakening a while ago. At least 2 years. Been looking into it. 3 years, 4 years. Okay. Tip of the day. Never heard of this channel. That's crazy. Has the biblical cosmology. One of the versions I've seen. Rob Skiba's was more or less in a box. If you all remember that one. So tip of the day, this is just 15 seconds. It says Freemasons know Earth is flat, the square and compass, and what that's used to measure.
The compass and the square, symbolic tools used in Freemasonry. But what do they actually mean? Well, if you look at the compass, it's used to draw, inscribe, and measure circles. And the square is used to measure angles. The Earth is flat.
Nice, short, sweet. Tip of the day. Thank you so much. Oops. Thanks for sharing. Been making Flat Earth content for a while. And I've never seen this person. Very cool. Thank you. Tip of the day. I don't know if I dropped that in chat. Yeah, footstool. You're right, Bill. I will drop it again if I didn't. And here is one. Oh, 414 Keeper. Flat Earther explains Genesis. So okay, I did catch that one video. We'll hit a thumbs up. They're really going hard at it. I will drop the link in here. And we'll let it roll for a minute.
So we're talking about Genesis. And in Genesis, I'm going to tell you exactly how God creates Earth. And for the first time in your life, maybe you'll actually understand Genesis instead of just skipping over it and not really reading it. Okay? So here we go. Genesis 1 states, God created the heavens and the earth. God didn't leave out outer space or galaxies or any solar system. God is telling us he made the heavens and the earth. The earth is under God's feet. The heavens are explained by Paul as being in layers or floors, and ultimately God's throne at the top. God's heaven is where Moses and Elijah are, and God is the omnipotent creator, initiating creating out of nothing. This act of creation is deliberate and purposeful, signifying God's intention to bring forth existence. Verse 1 is just as significant as any other verse in the Bible. God tells us throughout the Bible not to add or subtract. Now, I looked up how many times God tells us this in some way or another. There's 3 verses in the Bible dealing with adding and subtracting. Then we have 5 verses about subtracting from God's word and 9 adding to it. My point is this: God did not forget to tell us anything. God did not omit from telling us anything. Genesis is just as solid as any situation or occurrence. Genesis is told to Moses exactly as it happened.
All right, man. I'm gonna have to go through and watch that one over. Yeah, I dropped that one in there. I'm gonna move this over to this side so I don't end up erasing it after the show. And I'm going to check that one out. So here is Michael Smith, 14 subscribers. Consciousness Seminar, the Book of Enoch, Flat Earth, the Final Mystery School, Alchemy and Hermeticism. Very cool. That's a long one. Masonic Freemasonry, Kabbalion. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of Flat Earth anything down here. 9/11. Oh, best Flat Earth documentary 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So they made some Flat Earth videos 2 years ago. Here's one 2 years ago. Okay. And it looks like they just started back up. They've made 3 videos within the last 4 days. Flat Earth, Book of Enoch, and Consciousness Seminar. Been off for about, wow. Their last video was Masonic Bible Take 2. And then 2 years off of YouTube. Masonic Bible 1, Masonic Bible 2. Wow. Interesting.
It's interesting. Oh, one other thing I want to say about Celestine or Celestite. When you start looking at the metaphysical area, metaphysical write-ups about Celestine, it is tied in every way, shape, and form to the moon. And that to me just amazed me because, you know, I do put some stock in, you know, what we would call metaphysical knowledge or you know, hidden knowledge, occult knowledge, if you will. I think that there's a lot of truth to that. People will say, oh, that's all hocus pocus. And I got to tell you, that's part of our programming to believe that anything like that is hocus pocus, but in fact, it is not. And I'm sure I don't have to speak to a lot of this community to understand that there are many things that do not, you know, meet the eye that are explained by mainstream science, and they definitely have occult you know, explanations to them that actually make a lot of sense. But yeah, when you look at Celestite or Celestine in the occult, it is tied to the moon 100%. It's absolutely amazing.
You know, Bob, how in medicine we have conventional medicine and unconventional medicine, otherwise called complementary medicine. We can use that term complementary for the type of knowledge you're talking about. So complementary knowledge, because occult is so smeared into the dark, you know, the devil
Wow,
worship.
that's an old one. Bob and Antonio. How much of it is? Yeah, they go into
as I
other
sat
stuff.
and listened to the and all the rest, I mean,
yes,
seeking the divinity in ourselves. Still
so very cool.
Open arms, the externalization.
Michael Smith. Bringing out some old school stuff. Back at it, just starting off again. We'll give him a
We have a
thumbs
very
up.
interesting subject this morning.
And we'll give him a comment here. Right. I don't know if I dropped that in the chat. I will do that now. So was pretty steady, it looked like there 2 years ago, and then did the Freemasonry Bible 1 and 2, and stopped their channel for a couple years. Interesting. Michael Smith, Flat Earth, the Final Mystery School. Thank you for sharing that stuff, Michael. Here we have The YouTube pastor. Shorts, just shorts. No videos yet. These younger generation and their attention span. I get it. He knows his audience. You know, not knocking him for that.
Did you know that the
There
Bible
you
proves
go.
the earth is flat? I'm not going to just say what happens when you pour water on a basketball, because most people would say, does the basketball have a strong gravitational pull? Well, gravity was just made up to explain electromagnetism. So, like, I don't know why people ask that. They've been fooled by science. The Bible also contradicts outer space and crap. It says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Not in the beginning God created a super big explosion that released hydrogen atoms everywhere, that created stars and galaxies and yada yada yada. Like, there's a verse like Revelation 7:1 where John says he saw four angels on four corners of the earth. I don't know where you're gonna see four corners on a globe. Where are those angels gonna go, genius? Technically, you could say a sphere would have infinite corners, or it could have none, so you don't make any sense. I will link the video 75 Bible verses that prove the earth is flat in the comments, because apparently, like, I don't know how to verify my account, so it won't let me, like, put it as a suggested video, so I have to put it in the comments. I was arguing with my uncle about this. I'm not sure if he really, like, trusts me or not about this, but I was strongly trusting my belief, and he just told me to watch out for logical fallacies, but I made a point, and I was not being blatantly stupid. We can find proof on X on Flat Earth Zone about it, and you can also...
Young people coming out talking about flat earth. The YouTube pastor. Like I said, folks, it's exploding in like every direction. The Flat Earth Warriors. 2,000 subscribers. The movie The Warriors. Love it. Psalms 19. Is that one? True Earth Level Realm. The Great Flood. Katy Perry is taking up space. Skull and Bones. Flat Earth, Trump and Fam. It's flat, says top Jesuit astronomer. Global Hoax 4 months ago. So I've been putting out some flat Earth stuff. Distractions. Level Earth. How far was the Firmament 11 months ago? So they've been putting out some stuff. Local Sun 2 years ago. 3 years ago. Wow. They are very good at hiding people from us, folks. so I like it. Nice little beat in the background and just lots of visuals. You know, a lot more artistic than just sitting down and talking or, yeah, very cool. Flat Earth Warriors doing all kinds of stuff. Again, never heard of the channel. It's crazy. Here is one from Space Audits. Yeah, there's the ether cosmology. Do they have the Discord? I'm sure you can get into it through ethercosmology.com. Contact info or additional links. If you have any questions and you want to, you know, talk to Alan and Shane and a bunch of other people, really smart people doing some stellar work, yeah, reach out. There you go, ethercosmology.com, spaceaudits.net, all down in the description. I will drop the link in the chat for y'all. And this is a recap on the history of interferometry. Lots of visuals. These guys put together just amazing presentations. So if you really, and they dive deep. Okay, I almost 100% positive that all, you know, at least 50 minutes of this is deep diving into all this stuff. There might be a couple minutes throughout of, you know, a joke here, a joke there, stuff like that. But yeah, they deep dive into the topics. So definitely give Alan over at Space Audits a subscription. Show him some love. Fellow GLOBEBUSTER, just putting in the work. And I mean, this isn't easy to do. Put together all of these different, yeah, just great work, Alan. Thank you so much, man. Intro to Everything Part 5, Earth, Flat, and Freemasons. Speaking in Code, COAD. Let's see, 289 subscribers, 315 videos. Pro wrestling debut. Into the Deep State, Bigfoot, chemtrails, WrestleMania. I'm not seeing anything. This might be their very first. They did Mandela, Dogman. So definitely not flat earthers, but they're having the conversation. I think actually these guys might, oh, the Firmament and Fishbowl missiles, last of the year, 1 year ago. But they touch on all sorts of topics. It's not just this or that. It's looking like they've been at it for quite a while. Couple years. Seen a few different black hole episodes. Fallen angels. So yeah, definitely not a flat earth channel. But put the flat and Freemasons into it. These guys might be anti-flat. I'm not sure.
Or
Headwater.
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 So what do you want to do for E? I don't like. I watch the 6 more times. I'll watch it once and I'm done.
What is
percentage do you believe it?
that it's round?
Or flat? Or hollow? We just do all of them.
Okay, well, if it is,
No. I don't want
so it could be flat on the bottom and like round like that,
Mm.
or it could be. We talking flat, talking round flat, like just stop.
When I talk about a flat earth, they're not talking about a pancake and space and all the other planets are round. That's not what a flat earth is.
Flat earth with or
Planets are not. No. Flat earth would be like, it's its own thing. If the planets would revolve around it.
Are those planets flat?
It's round.
No. People
So what are the planets that are revolving around flat Earth? What are they?
I don't know.
So they're having the conversation. I love it. I love seeing people just having the conversation. We'll give them a thanks for sharing. Much appreciated. And maybe they'll have another video about flat Earth. You never know. They even get the Wikipedia flat Earth thing. Huh. So many people talking about it. It's just crazy. All right, before we go to the next one, I saw Carol with a K in chat. The International Truth Expo. I believe it's coming up in November, exposing lies one at a time. Subject to change, the presenters, but so far there's Martk Sargent and DJ Curious, Ryan with Burn, the Corporate Fiction, Nathan Thompson, Candid Truth, Ace Baker with 9/11, The Great American Psy Opera, Dr. Andrew Kaufman, Dave Weiss, and Jerry Marzinski. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Awesome guy, Jerry Marzinski. Really changed my life. Just hearing the stuff that he dealt with schizophrenia and what it actually is. He's been pretty much blackballed from the psychology world because of his beliefs, but man, some of the tales that he'll tell you, you can tell he's not lying. And the stuff that he will tell you is just, and he's helped multiple schizophrenia patients lose schizophrenia to where it's like they don't have it anymore, right? They know how to combat it because, believe it or not, these things talk to all of us. It's crazy. I know it sounds insane, but he explains it very well. Dr. Andrew Kaufman, another very brave man who got, burned at the stake for coming out and talking out about lies. So yeah, this seems like it should be pretty cool. The events and meetups. Here, I'll drop this into the chat for y'all. You can go into the website and check it all out yourself. But yeah, November 7th, 8th, and 9th, 12 to 9, Quartzsite. It'll be beautiful out in Quartzsite in November. I've been out there in November. It's lovely. So yeah, reach on out to Carol with a K for all the information. Very cool. Missa E. Maria. Let's see what they cover. I'm not seeing any flat Earth. Oh, here's one 2 days ago. This might be the one. Yeah, that I saw. So they're putting out some content 8 days ago, 10 days ago. Doesn't look like I'm not seeing any flat Earth anything. A lot of it's written in another language down here. But as far as the thumbnails and stuff like that go, I'm not seeing any flat Earth, anything like that. Looks like Noah, possibly, and the flood. So yeah, wow, just 2 months ago, all these videos have been put out. Okay, we're not going to go too deep into the channel. So definitely not a flat Earth channel.
Look, we're here in the center, right?
Flat Earth film in the title, right?
And here there's a dome, which is our dome. It also has a dome.
Thumbs up. 40,000
what?
subscribers.
And then above the dome is a space. It's an atmosphere. And then above all of this, there's another dome.
Okay.
So why do we need to have this dome?
I don't know.
If there's another dome above it, what's it for? Okay. So then, we start from the principle that the theory of multi-worlds is that our world is flat inside the dome.
Yes, it's flat. Not flat like that, look. Totally flat, right? Yes, yes, in
this case, it has unevenness, mountains, oh, the highest sea. But in the multi-worlds, our world is not the convex Earth, is it? Question mark. Like, look, the convex Earth would be, I have it here.
Well, that's
Wanna
awesome.
see?
They put
Look,
it into
this one
English
here
for
is the
us.
convex Earth.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Ah, the continent.
Sometimes I feel so ignorant for not being able to speak another language. I really wish I would have had that like taught to me at a very young age, right? Just so it would stick forever and always. So I will drop this in chat. That's cool, putting it into English for us. So thank you, Missa E. Maria, for sharing that. Let's see if I'm the only English typing person in the chat. Yep, it looks like it. So it has quite a following here. Very active following. And a lot of thumbs up. Over 10%. Very cool. In Uganda, God's earth is flat. Joan Allen Niakato. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Just 2 videos, made one a year ago, prayers against drugs that are forcefully administered without one's will. Yeah, that's a scary topic to touch on. And then 3 days ago, came out and made another video. In Uganda, God's earth is flat.
Hello,
Thank you, Joan.
hello. Forgive me, that's the hair, but I'm here to prove that in Uganda the earth is flat. So, because I can see the moon and the sun, even right now, it is 9 minutes past 4 p.m. and that is Ugandan time, East African time, yeah?
Now, I don't agree with her
So anyway,
reasoning, but
let me show you the moon.
it's awesome that they're having that she's just having these conversations, right?
Moon, where are you? There. Listen it. It's a half moon, but
Yeah, I have no issue with the moon and the sun being in the sky at the same time, the way I see how it kind of works. But again, she's having the conversation and putting Earth is flat in the title. That takes a lot, folks.
I hear
So again,
that it
thank
could
you,
just
Joan.
be that it is full, only that half of it is seen and half is not seen, is translucent. Yeah. So I have to study more about that moon. It could be a translucent moon, or maybe because it's charging. Yeah. So that is the moon. And behold!
I love her voice.
I sing the sun. Okay. My phone camera, Nang, you have to what? To bear with it. The
Looks
sun is
beautiful
there,
in Uganda.
in that place where the clouds are. So I have also proved that in Uganda. I'm probably the first lady to prove in Uganda that we are on a flat Earth, because as according to the globe, if the sun is somewhere, the moon is also somewhere else. Yeah, it's not likely that the sun and the moon can exist at the same place together at the same
Thinking about
time.
it and sharing it. I love it. She's on her journey. Thank you for sharing. Joan, Allen, love the voice. So this is Simple Mad Podcast. Again, is this one? Yeah, this is one with Bryce Mitchell. Okay. We already covered that. It was just a short that came popping up. Into the Killbox. Now this one, what time is it? 10:55. I might end it with this one. I want to play this whole one for you all. This is great. This is Corey Kell. Military background with all kinds of artillery, stuff like that. Very educated man. And his measurements of the sun and how it moves in the sky. He goes and proves that 100% of the time it works on a flat Earth, and about, I think it's 57% of the time it works on a globe. It's just a great video.
Hello and welcome.
Let me see.
I'm Corey Kell, creator of.
Yeah, Corey Kell. I want to. Here, we'll jump ahead. We're gonna put this one here in the back. Oh, where was I? Flat Earth Letters, exposing the globe agenda in prophecy watchers. I will butcher this. Melchizedek Chronicles by Kenny Williamson. So let's see. Flat Earth Letters, exposing the globe agenda in prophecy watcher. Is the Earth really flat? How many videos? Cult of Rampham, Ancient Cult, Blue Origin. Are satellites even real? 3 months ago. So I've been going through his wake up. Biblical questions and answers. Kent Hovind. Okay, I'm not seeing any flat Earth down here. Interviewed Kent Hovind. Flat Earth Bible Study 2. So I'm not sure if he's pro or not. We're going to go ahead and let a couple minutes. Oh, no, he's definitely
whatever
pro now that I'm
Anyway.
hearing it again. Let's jump back a couple seconds here.
'Cause I'd be willing to bet this guy right here, probably nobody wants to hear his opinion on anything else. Why would you? Some old man in a suit that doesn't even believe his Bible. Whatever. Anyway, so he goes on, he's personally vouching for NASA right here. Personally vouching for him. He says, there is no way possible that these scientists could have fabricated those trips because, get this, because on the moon trip, the satellite pictures were made from the film in their cameras. Seriously? You still believe we went to the moon? It's no wonder when somebody mentions flat Earth.
So he's having he's been going through it. We're going to put in a comment. Much appreciated. Yeah, been going through let's see, how long ago was it? Questioning Blue Origin and stuff. Are satellites real? 2 months ago. Flat Earth Bible Study 3 months ago. 3 months ago. So he started exploring flat Earth and biblical truth 3 months ago. Final experiment satellite hoax, flat Earth daving. So 4 months ago. 6 months ago, flat Earth. 9 months ago with the interview with Dave. It would figure Dave is talk to this guy. I swear that guy talks to everybody. 9 months ago. All right. Evolution is Stupid by Dr. Kent Hovind. Now, I'm not sure how Kent feels today on flat Earth, but I know back in the day he thought it was just one of the dumbest things he'd ever heard of. And it was sad because a lot of the things that he used were, you know, not sound. But he had heard these things his whole life, right? Like, this is the only way it could happen is on a globe, blah, 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 blah. The sun setting and this and that. It's like, well, no. That's not the only way things like that can work. If you step away from the heliocentric scientism model, right? That religion. And just go look at the religion that you preach. It tells you differently.
Because
so yeah, very cool. Let me drop this in chat. I'm not sure if I did. And if there's any in there that I missed, like a video that you think I might have missed, just ask in the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on chat, and I will. I can jump back there and drop it into the chat. I think I've been pretty good about it lately, though. Why flat Earth actually works. Give him a thumb. This is Flat Miro. 3 years ago, Angry Flat Earther Goes Wild. The Truth You Need to See 5 months ago. It's got the anti-globe now. It looks like maybe he was mocking it a little bit 3 years ago, possibly. Doesn't post a lot, right? Just got 5 videos. But it seems like he's been 3 months ago, 3 months ago, 3 months ago, and now why flat Earth actually works. So I'm not even sure if this is pro
Online,
flat
you've
Earth.
probably seen the flat Earth being clowned on a lot. Flat Earthers say this, flat Earthers say that, and are always disproven with so-called facts and logic. However, have you ever realized that there is in fact a flat Earth model that could actually work?
For legal reasons, this video is for entertainment purposes only.
Let's start with something simple. Why would Earth even be flat?
It looks like it gets into some compass, gets into Antarctica, looks like the ice wall, Admiral Byrd, a little bit of nonsense, Freemasonry, breaks into the periodic table a little bit. He talks about, I forget what this was, I think this might be up in Siberia maybe or something like that. Not sure. It goes into other realms outside of ours. You know, I don't know. Could be. Not really sure. So that was Flat Miro. Why flat Earth actually works. Did I drop that in chat? No. I will do that now. Almost slipped on that one. All right, we have a Flat Earth meetup, June 28th, near the end of the month, 4 p.m. till whenever, in St. Charles, Illinois. I've seen that little ball right there. So it's going to be at the Global Brew Tap House. Global Brew, that's funny. 2100 Prairie Street, St. Charles. Email Nick at nterziski@protonmail.com. Let's see, is there any other? Yep, June 28th, 4 p.m. till whenever, St. Charles, Illinois. Yeah, Illinois is really pretty in June, for sure. Not so much in December, January, February, at least northern Illinois, not so much. Southern Illinois, it depends what kind of year they're having. But yeah, beautiful place, beautiful time to have a meetup. I hope you all have fun. So next up, we have Stephen Skay. Let's see. Firmament, solid vaulted dome over the earth. Let's see. Is there any other 9/11 remote controlled planes? Pull the string and the whole ball unravels 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure if that's flat Earth. But I'm not seeing they faked Earth shots before CGI technology a month ago. So, you know, possibly been looking into flat Earth for a little bit. I'm not seeing any. He's going through encyclopedias, longitude 90 degrees. So definitely been looking into it for at least a couple months and put out a couple videos. There is a firmament. Nobody's going anywhere. So, okay. That was 5-6 months ago. Been putting out some flat Earth stuff then. Not putting flat Earth in the title, which, you know, can be a good way to hide yourself from certain algorithms. I don't blame this person at all. But it looks like, nope, not flat Earth in there either. Okay, so definitely somebody who. There's a live look. Ooh, thinking about, yeah, I was looking through a lot of this one. A lot of videos. Looks like covering a whole different array of topics. So that's Stephen Skay. Comments are turned off. I'll drop that in the chat for y'all. Oh, there's the last one. Sorry about that. I never hit the send. And here is this one. All right. This is what the Ayman didn't tell you. Allah says the earth is flat. Like I said, it's happening in all the different corners and circles. Pure water with dead dogs, purpose of praying towards. So definitely not a flat earth channel. Looks like it's mostly about Islam and the Muslim faith. Yeah, not seeing anything else flat earth.
Yes, Mr. Yusuf.
Yeah, I want to say that a lot of people actually say that this Islam is peace, you know, and I'm one of those who say Islam is peace.
Okay, are you a Muslim or not?
Yes, I am.
The flat.
It's flat, but what I think going on this verse, what the verse means is actually جعل لكم الأرض بساطا. That means he made it for you that the ground is flat, even though it might not be flat on Google.
He made it flat for you, even though it's not flat. So he's having conversations with people about, you know, what the Quran says. And yeah, I've never read the Quran, but from what I can see, at least, you know, what people are pointing out, if it's actually the Quran, right, that they're showing on the screen and stuff, that it does say pretty much that the Earth is flat and stationary. It's wild. But yeah, the conversations are being had everywhere. So thank you for sharing. Much appreciated. I hit the thumb. It didn't give it the thumbs up. Let's see if I refresh it, if it will. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Yeah. Anybody willing just to have the conversation, even if they're not flat earthers, right? Even if they still believe that they're on a ball. If they're going to have an honest and open conversation, then great. That's awesome. And not, you know, not be a troll. There's trolls in every aspect of the internet. Whatever type of topic you might want to be talking about, there is a troll for that. Even if you're not even talking about something that's real, like say you cover certain types of movies or this or that, those people have trolls. Trolls are everywhere. We're not talking about those types of people. Just, you know, people who have channels, right, that's been talking about all kinds of things, but is having the conversation about flat Earth. That's all. Remember, the truth doesn't need to be defended. It's a lion. It just needs to be set free. And when certain people hear the truth, it rings with them, right? It's like this, oh, that's a possibility? Really? And yeah, so thank you. What the Iman Didn't Tell You channel, I will drop it in the chat if I didn't. If I did, here it is again for y'all. All right. The dome below and above us. This is a short, just a 30 seconds from Jesus Saves Us. Looks like they have been talking about the flat Earth. Why I didn't see some of these, you know, is kind of weird to me. 4 months ago, 5 months, 5 months. Wow. Okay, so 2 years ago, very first video. Flat Earth. Christ saves. So this is a flat Earth channel, apparently. It looks like most of the videos. Wow, look at that. Waters above and below, pillars. Interesting. I would drop that in the chat. I've never seen a model like that. I like it. Wow. So yeah, Jesus Saves Us. Been at it a while. Only 148 subscribers. I'm going to give him a subscription here. Yeah, putting in the effort and the work. Very cool. Let's see.
In this lake, trying to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down it.
So he's talking about that one deep submersible the guys were in, and they got to the bottom of the ocean and they couldn't get through. It had like a lake edge at the bottom of the ocean, and then things hitting something up in the sky. Which I don't know, right? But yeah, there is a flat Earth channel for sure I had never heard of. Jesus Saves Us. I will drop the link to this one in the chat. All right. Thank you so much for all hanging out. Much appreciated. Da Priest Caswell Burrows. Let's see. Not seeing a whole lot of flat Earth stuff in here. Ba. No, been at it over a year making videos, 2 years, 3 years. So been at it for a while. 5 years, 6 years, 6 years ago started. And oh. That kind of looks like maybe a flat Earth something or other. I don't know. Okay. 3 years ago. A flat Earth video. And again, a lot of this isn't whether or not they're pro flat Earth or anti flat Earth. You know, they're having the conversation. And open and honestly.
Morning, TikTok. I come to give you all the most simplest physics tests that you even can do at home to prove that the Earth is flat and that the Earth is not spinning 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. Anyone who lives at the equator, all you have to do, if you have a drone, you just take the drone and you put it up in the air. And if you leave that drone up in the air for more than a week, you realize that the drone is still in the same location. How is this possible? If you look at the diagram, the drone is above the Earth and the Earth crust is supposed to be spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. But you could leave this drone, look at it, you could leave this drone here for months. Once it has battery life, you can leave this drone here for months, even years. And the drone will still be in that same location. The Earth never moves, the drone never moves, the sky never moves. You all explain that in the comment section.
Having the conversation, asking for some feedback. Oh. Leave it up. All right. Is the Bible from heaven? Now, I've definitely heard this before of this channel. Let's see. Talking about the boat race and how you have to keep steering left along Antarctica. Like they're going this way and then they're heading east. And it makes, you know, listen to this guy say this. It's crazy. I had never heard this one before. I don't know if this is new or if this is an older one. Yeah, here, check this out.
Caport, on tourne à gauche et puis on
tourne à gauche.
Et puis on revient vers la maison.
Bah
non, à droite c'est l'Antarctique.
À droite c'est l'Antarctique.
Et un tour du monde en bateau, c'est très très simple. Hein.
Oui.
On descend l'Atlantique, on tourne à gauche à chaque fois et puis
on tourne.
Comme si on faisait le tour d'un lotissement.
Enfin, je veux dire, il
faut toujours tourner à gauche. Si on hésite à un moment donné, il faut tourner à gauche.
C'est extraordinaire ça.
Caport, on tourne à gauche et puis on
tourne à gauche.
Et puis on revient vers la maison. Bah non, à droite c'est l'Antarctique.
À droite c'est l'Antarctique.
Et un tour du monde en bateau, c'est très très simple.
It's just the same thing over again, but just showing a picture of it. So he's pretty much saying we come down here and we keep turning left. And he's like, but Antarctica's on your right. Wouldn't you turn like this way to go around the bottom of Antarctica? Why would you keep having to turn left? I haven't seen that one before. Very cool. All right, here is Flat Earth, Holy, the official video. 89, 90 thumbs up. Nice. Nice. It's getting some views and some traction. I think I showed one of their videos a couple weeks ago. Maybe one of these. Flat Earth, Never Happy. Flat Earth, Adore. So yeah, they were definitely 7 years ago. And yeah, 7 years ago, Flat Earth. Wow, they've been putting them out. Cool. I like that ending. So that was from the band Flat Earth. I'm going to go ahead and subscribe. Got 93 ups on that one. Nice. 930 views 1 day ago. Very cool. Very cool. All right, folks, and this is going to wrap up into the end of the show right here. This is Corey Kell. Goes by Corey I Fish. Yeah, definitely a flat earther. Has been for quite some time. 5 years ago, very first video on using the sun supporting the flat earth model. This guy has been modeling this using the sun since I've known him. I met him about 5 years ago, if not before that. Very smart gentleman. Tinkers, right? He's a tinkerer. He's a go out and a doer. He'll test it. Here he is at FEIC. I'm not sure if that's Denver or Dallas. I believe that's where I definitely met him. I'm going to give Corey a subscription.
Hello and welcome.
And before we get into this, I'm going to give a comment. Corey has put together some great videos and just great demonstrations, and he definitely doesn't get enough love. So Corey I Fish, into the Killbox. Like I said, he's a military type of guy. And the Killbox is the test box. He'll explain that. He did over 130 tests and then gives you for both the flat earth and the globe just by measuring the sun. Yeah, this is interesting. If you haven't seen this before and you can wrap your head around it, this is one of those nail in the coffin globe killers right here. It's a little difficult to comprehend what he's talking about unless you actually see it. Like I've seen it with models and stuff like that. But this is, you know, this is like the proof. This is the data and all that kind of stuff that can't be disputed. That's how Corey goes about it. So yeah, if you don't know of Corey, go check him out. Really down to earth guy, very smart. I will drop this link in the chat and show Corey some love, because this really is one of those globe killers that can't be disputed, but just kind of gets avoided. You know, I mean, there's so many globe killers, right? And the ones that are a little bit harder to understand, especially, kind of get tossed to the wayside. It's like, well, do I need to take the time to study that to where I actually comprehend what he's saying, or can I just use one of the other nails in the coffin, right? A preponderance of evidence is what we go by. So here we go. This is Corey, and thank you all again for hanging out so much. Remember, be good to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your mind, because there's truth inside.
Corey Kell, creator of FlatEarthIntel.com, and today we're going to talk about Into the Killbox. Or basically what we're talking about is putting both the globe model and the flat Earth model into the test box and testing Earth's true surface shape. And when we talk about testing Earth's true surface shape, we're going to use the test box, which is basically a very basic geometric form, but it has excellent application and validation of geometric forms. Once we fill in the information requirements into that test box, and we're going to show you exactly how we do that. We've utilized that test box. We used it in extensive testing, over 130 tests. Testing Earth's true surface shape from 2 locations on both sides of the terrestrial Earth. So basically we're going to put both models into the test box or into the kill box, and only one model will survive. How I formulated this from military science. There's also applications of civil engineering in it as well. We talk about vertical angle. Military science using the sun and geometry, as I said, was developed from live fire safety and kill boxes, and very effective means of testing Earth's true surface shape. Military science, where I derived it from, and basically what we have here is we have a artillery impact area. We have the artillery piece here on our far right. We have a forward observer, but we use forward observers for artillery because we can't actually see when we're doing indirect fire where that round is landing when we fire from great or long distances. So we need a FO, or a forward observer, on the azimuth of fire, and this is the gun target line. When we talk about this is shooting rounds into basically an impact area where we want the rounds to land safely, or where we want the rounds to land, not outside the impact area. And inside that impact area is a safety box or a kill box, which has our targets, what we're shooting at. And both for the impact area and the safety box, we have our left and right near and far limits. So when we shoot those rounds, they go into that kill box, right into it. And that's basically how it's designed. That's the effect what we want. So again, this is derived from military science, the kill box design. And we talk about this is a 3D version, what you saw there in the military science aspect of it on the impact area. Now we have the information requirements, and we'll talk about those. And we'll start from the bottom left. We have the orienting station, or the sun survey point, where we actually set up our orienting station. And we use a Mark's device and a compass to get on manual linear alignment with the sun at sun position 1. In other words, we want to get to solar noon. Not vertical alignment, but manual linear alignment. In other words, we want to be on line with that sun or at solar noon. We want to be able to identify solar noon, and using a Mark's device and compass, we can do that. And the 2 methods, what we're going to talk about first is time set. So we have sun position 1 at solar noon, then 3 hours later, we're going to get sun position 2 is where we're going to actually make our vertical angle measurement for both models using the time set methodology. And again, time set is all it is basically 3 hours from sun position 1 to sun position 2. And why 3 hours? Why 3 hours is 45 degrees? Well, let's break it down real quick, and it's just some easy math. All we're talking about is there are 24 hours in a day. 3 times 8 equals 24. So we're talking about eight segments of 3 hours. So that's going to be 45 degrees, or 8 times 45 equals 360 degrees for circular or orbital rotation, whether you're talking about the sun going around the flat Earth model, or the sun or the Earth spinning around the sun in the globe model. So very, very basic, very easy. And at sun position 2, we're going to get that, as I said, that vertical angle measurement from the OS, or the height to the sun. And for the globe model, remember, we have 2 numbers that we use in the test box worksheet. We use the distance, which is 45 degrees or 3 hours, and the height. So those 2 numbers cannot exceed what? 90 degrees. 90 degrees is the limit for the sun. Why? Because the sun is always, always, always 90 degrees to Earth's surface, whether you're in the globe model or the flat Earth model. And we're talking about during the summer sun season. The best time to do this test is at the summer solstice up in the north, or when the sun is at the Tropic of Cancer. We know its exact position, and that's how we can know our positioning is correct. Again, This is time set. So time set, we're using a designated time from solar noon, 3 hours, and then we get our vertical angle measurement. The next method, what we're going to use is sunplot. And sunplot is a designated distance of 45 degrees using an azimuth measurement to the sun's 90-degree position on Earth for both the globe and the flat Earth model. This is called the sunplot method. And how we get that distance of 45 degrees, I'll show you that in one of the next slides. We'll break it down. We'll break the globe down into sections of 10-degree sections. So we can do that very easily by latitude and longitude, the distance, and then we get that vertical angle measurement. All we're going to do then is orient our OS station to that azimuth, to that 90-degree position, then elevate our measuring bar up and wait for that sun to come center mass at that designated, once that sun comes center mass at that designated azimuth from our OS position. That is called sunplot. And that ensures that we get a distance of 45 degrees. Initially, this was left out as kind of a trap to kind of trap science in to come ask questions about the process, because we wanted to find out some information what science didn't actually know about positioning using the sun and timing. Found out a great deal, and it got science into trouble when we had a 5-hour conversation with a professor of science. Again, they're not taught this methodology, and that's what we needed to know. We needed to have science talk about it, and we found out a great deal. So that's the sunplot method. Again, very simple. These are very simple methodologies, but they're not taught in traditional education. And again, you have to know the limit. For the globe model, of course, for the 45-degree sector test, if you're 45 degrees to the sun, your vertical angle limit or your height to the sun cannot exceed 45 degrees. So 45 and 45 is what? 90 degrees. It's just simple addition. It's nothing difficult. The flat Earth model, if you're measuring the sun and you get a sun measurement over 45 degrees, you are measuring that sun from a flat Earth surface. The globe's curve cannot achieve a higher vertical angle if you're 45 degrees to the sun. And that is very important. It's very important to understand that. You've exceeded that model's limit. You have to know the limit. As I talked about earlier, this is the globe model, how we can break it down by latitude and longitude. Each one of these grid boxes is 10 degrees. And when we talk about 10 degrees, we're talking about not only surface angle, we're talking about distance, because measuring distance and surface angle using in latitude and longitude, that is surface angle. So here we have an example of the orienting station shown here by this star and the sun's position. Say this is the Tropic of Cancer in the north. That's position between the OS and the sun's position is 45 degrees. And all we do is we simply add this number of squares. So we're 10, 20, 30, 40 and a half, 45 degrees, our position to the sun. And then we take our vertical angle measurement, cannot exceed 45 degrees. So 45 and 45 is 90. Again, each one of these being 10 degrees. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, and half is 5. Very simple, actually very simple methodology. Why? Because, again, these are geometric circles on the globe model. So, again, that's what gets the globe into trouble. Let's walk you through kind of the test box or the Killbox application. Again, we're going to put basically 2 models into the Killbox, and only 1 model is going to survive once we test them, once we find out. And again, we'll put the globe model into the test box. Once it goes into the test box, again, we're at sun position 1 from our solar noon, or we're using either sunplot or time set, or we can use both, however we want to do it during the summer solstice. That sun moves at 3 hours or designated 45 degree measured azimuth from the OS to the sun's 90 degree position, which is 45 degrees. That means its limit for the globe model is what? 45 degrees. It cannot exceed a vertical angle or a sun height measurement of 45 degrees. Very simple. Again, checks the object's azimuth, direction, vertical angle, height, timing, Again, this is the 45-degree sector test. We can also check magnetic grid variance doing this as well. So there are a lot of real-world practical applications that we can use the test box for. But again, this is what we're doing. We're testing Earth's true surface shape to find out if we're measuring from a curved or a flat surface. We're testing those models. So again, once that model goes into the Killbox, it either passes or fails that test. And extensive testing from both sides of the terrestrial Earth. We did 133 tests. It failed 76 of those tests with a 57% failure rate. Remember, the standard is 100% pass rate. So it's massive, massive failure for the globe model. Again, its vertical angle is way off. It's off by a great deal. And again, when we talk about this, we have to know this is part of understanding the model's orbital mechanics, testing the model's orbital mechanics.
Look at that. 57% failure rate for the globe. This is a nail in the coffin, folks. If you take the time to wrap your head around this, I'm telling you, this is a globe Earth killer. 100%.
Mechanics. And again, if you have a model that's failing at 50%, 7%, anything over 50 is massive failure. Again, there are huge, huge problems with that. And again, that's why science doesn't want to talk about it. The flat Earth model having a greater limit of 90 degrees. And again, all we do is we take that vertical angle measurement to sun position 2. You can go well above 60 degrees, 90 degrees being the limit. And remember, you're on a flat surface, so your surface angle is 0 degrees, so you can go all the way up to 90 degrees, and you're going to easily pass this test. But again, we want to use this methodology to exclude one model. And again, we can do that. We can exclude the globe model in testing using this methodology. Again, all derived from military science. Flat Earth testing, 133 passed 100%. That's the standard. That is the standard, 100% pass rate. So again, we can exclude that model. 2 models entered the Killbox. The globe model, the Killbox decimated the globe model. And again, all this information can be found in the Sun and Earth Modern User Reference Guide. I've written this book, put it out in October of 2023. It talks about testing. It talks about the setup. All the information requirements you need to do. There's a task list of 16 training task list training outline. Data from Operation Resolute Time and Operation North American Sun is all in this book, and it's available at Zilibris.com, Amazon, Walmart.com carries it, as well as Everland Media. So it's really has a lot of information. If you don't know how to use a compass, I teach you how to use a compass in there as well. I'm Corey Kell, creator of Flat Earth Intel, and this presentation has been Into the Killbox by myself, Corey Kell. Thanks.
Into the Killbox. Like I said, military guy, super smart. Has had this up for years, right? But like he said, this is something that, and Bill put, they won't admit it, and they're blind and purposely blind. They don't want to have this conversation with Corey. They'll just avoid it at all cost and bury him in the algorithms. But this is an amazing, amazing test that anybody can do. It's really simple. FlatEarthIntel.com, and it shows you how to set it all up and take your measurements and all that kind of stuff. Not hard to do. But yeah, this is amazing work done by Corey here. So share this out with people. I will drop the link again in the description here for y'all. I was just going to end it after his video, but for real, this needs to get shared out. Please share this link right here with people. Anybody that has that, intellectual type of brain, that can understand geometry and shapes and all that kind of stuff, they have a really good chance of getting this and being like, whoa, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, share this out there, please. Corey has done amazing work, and it's really been swept under the rug. They don't want to talk about this. The same as, I thought when I bent still water, when I had water, curving, still water curving, I thought that was going to be some big thing, right? For the globers. I thought that they would try their best to be like, oh yeah, look, this is how the earth works and this and that. But no, you find that they avoid electrostatics just as much as anything else. They don't want to talk about electrostatics because there's so much truth wrapped up in electrostatics, and people would start realizing that, hey, we can control craft and this and that. And, there's MIT is just now coming out with their, no moving part engines that fly around with electrostatics. And you got to think they're at least 50 years ahead. So, yeah, I guarantee there's crafts flying around with electrostatic propulsion that are, amazing, maneuverability, everything like that. You tell them all about it, Hank? That's a good boy. You two men? Men's coming up, say hi. You want to come say hi to everybody? Oh my goodness. All right, folks. Well, you have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy it. Go outside, look at nature a little bit, get some sun, maybe even get grounded, kick your shoes off, touch the earth a little bit. It'll help. It really will. I'm going to go do some of that right now. But yeah, this was another edition of the GLOBEBUSTERS Weekend Update, just highlighting all the new people coming out, or people that are new to me at least. Some have been doing it for years, and the algorithms just, they're really good at hiding all this stuff, folks. So it's really important that you get out there, go to some of these channels that I'm sharing with you, subscribe if you like them, at least give them a thumbs up. Comments really help. They really give people that oomph to keep going. So yeah, it doesn't cost anything except a little bit of time, and it'll really help the people out that are, have the nerve to be putting flat earth in their videos and speaking about it publicly. It's not easy. And yeah, it's crazy how big it is right now. Just insane. If I had all the anti-flat earth videos that aren't from, the regular trolls that we see all the time over the last 9 years, it'd be like an 8-hour show probably. It's just crazy how much content is being put out there right now, both pro and against flat earth. So yeah, the conversations are being had, and that's all we need, right? I'll say it again. The truth is a lion. You don't need to defend it. You just set it free. It'll defend itself. It's good times for all. Have a great rest of your weekend, folks. Remember, once again, be good to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your mind. There's truth inside. Peace out.